Unlike other content creators and people who say that they are new news media and independent, we don't need to be validated by clickbait. We don't strive to get subscribers to understand where we are coming from. If you do not like and subscribe, that's okay. At this point in time, it might be too late. And that is okay too. But through the generations, the woke socialists and the John Brown Alliance has understood the assignment. And we're going to carry it forward. If you still want to receive this content, even though it is being hacked and sabotaged by YouTube itself and all entities connected with the Trump administration in Russia, you need to click on every single YouTube video you see, including mine, so that we can build up the algorithm and flood the zone. But you're not about that because you're too lazy. Just like all this other stuff. Just like sitting around your home, doom scrolling, putting in comments on YouTube, and doing absolutely nothing. American veterans, homeless, disabled, and otherwise, are right now in Minnesota defending the United States Constitution and your First Amendment right. While your elected officials sit around and do nothing. We have exactly 2 weeks before Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer vote to hand over every dime of your tax money to finance the greatest terrorist organization that ever existed in the world. Now, let me be clear that the defund ICE movement is not led by anti-fascist, outside agitators, and it is not paid for by anyone. The defund ICE movement is comprised of people who understand what law enforcement means and how these entities have overstepped their bounds. Now, I get a lot of backlash from MAGA and others who say, how is enforcing the law against the law? Well, if you're a dumbass, you don't understand different organizations within the United States government. And I don't have the time, at this time, with the color of my skin, to explain to your dumb white ass what law enforcement means. This is something you should have covered in civics class long before we came to this moment. But you didn't. And it is not my obligation, generation after generation, to keep reminding you of your random acts of stupidity, racism, and how you fuck up a democracy every time you get a chance. We are at a point that is 2 weeks behind where the actual threat is. So, not only have we already organized enough people in the richest, blackest state in America to refrain from participation in the 2026 election, but I can bet you my left tit the donations are down. The socialist movement in America and the independent movement has the greatest momentum right now as political parties. And I know this because I'm not sitting there running my mouth on fucking YouTube all day. I'm out there taking polls in the streets. Not polls from your trusted entities, but I'm sitting there talking to Latinos and black people and white people. White immigrants even. In the state of Maryland are willing to branch out and recruit other people to stand down in 2026. What we are suggesting and will achieve is a total blackout of all Democratic and Republican fundraisers for the 2026 election. We're not going to settle for either party, and we're not going to settle for promises never kept. Now, I don't think I need to remind you about the 1 million people that died from COVID under the Trump administration the first time. The repeated, delayed impeachments. And the congressional subpoenas that were never enforced. And now we're at this time again. So the solution for Democrats is not to defund ICE, not to support another government shutdown after we had a walkout in D.C. and thousands in support of a general strike and a national blackout on all American goods. We still have Hakeem Jeffries saying that they will not fund ICE unless blue states have never received since 2025 any monies from the Trump administration. In fact, every single solitary program that we had in blue states has been defunded. And we don't know where that money is. Furthermore, black and white Democrats are asking us to participate in the funding of Gestapos on American streets, people being shot in the face, pepper sprayed, what they want every single black and white politician in the Democratic Party who still thinks this is okay, what they want is comfort. They don't care about your comfort. This is MAGA light. Hakeem Jeffries can get on TV and say we will not do this unless. But if there is a but or unless, they are selling you off as enslaved people to Donald Trump. There is a certain segment of society that is not going to tolerate this. Most of them are comprised of ex-law enforcement, intelligence individuals, veterans, hackers, scientists, doctors, lawyers, and just plain everyday street fighters. We comprise the greater majority of the United States of America, because all of these professions that I told you about are made up of white, black, brown, and red people. So this is not sustainable. And we have exhausted absolutely every legal avenue we have. And we are beholden to no state and no one. We are trapped in the United States. And we happen to have children and grandchildren that we need to look after. And right now, that is our greatest achievement. And our greatest reason that when tyranny becomes law, then resistance becomes duty. And that cannot be met with peaceful protest, but in defiance of an action that is unlawful and unconstitutional, with an equal and opposite reaction. This is the Woke Socialist Podcast. We need to make a choice. Either we're going to hide in the attic, or we're going to get out on the streets and uphold the pledges and oaths that we made to this nation. Not hyperbole, but physical opposition.